Hey, Mark here. I just have a fun announcement. I have a new giveaway, and it's for Joe Coy's cinematic debut, Easter Sunday. The hilarious and heartfelt comedy co-stars Jimmy O. Yang, Tia Carrera, and Tiffany Haddish, and is yours to own with never-before-seen extras, including hilarious deleted scenes and a gag reel. Own it on digital today on Blu-ray October 18th. It's rated PG-13 from Universal Pictures Home Entertainment. So if you would like a digital copy of this or a Blu-ray copy, just send me a message and let me know which one you prefer. Please do. Please reach out. I would love to hear from you, and I hope you enjoy the episode for Tenet. Enjoy. Hello and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man that's currently doing some chin-ups from outside a backwards moving boat. It's Niall Moore.
Hey, how you doing, Mark? I've got two things for you, a gesture and a word. It's hello and a wave.
That's a great Tenet. Now, we're going to do this. So you're doing this episode backwards for 10 minutes, and then I'm going to do it for, forwards for 10 minutes, and we'll just see what happens.
Yeah, so I have to pretend to laugh because I've actually already seen everything you're going to say. I'll pretend to be surprised.
I just recorded an episode for MFF about Memento, and it's really interesting how that meets in the middle. You have one group, one of Leonard's stories going backwards, one going forwards. If you think about Tenet, it's the same sort of thing. You have people from the future coming back in time, people in the present, they're sort of meeting. The movie sort of ends in the middle.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like, that's what Nick says. Like Robert Pattinson's character, he, says to the protagonist, "Hey, you've only gone one way. Now you have to go the other way."
So he's in the middle. Like, yeah, I love Neil, man. There's theories that Neil is the son of
Sator.
Yeah, he's Sator's son and Kat's son, but they talked about the inversion time, and that would just take way too long, so the time doesn't really quite match up. But it's still...
Well, in theory, inversion time. So he could travel, he could invert, though you get so bored, right? If you're trying to invert for like 20 years.
Yeah.
What would you be doing? It's like, yeah, I'm just living backwards in my container on this container ship. I can't go outside without an oxygen mask because I'll die. It seems like an awful lot of dedication and hardship to put a child through.
You're gonna be
just
insane.
For plot convenience.
You're gonna be insane by the time you get out of that thing. I mean, I guess you could do it, but it would be a nightmare. You'd have to bring a lot of oxygen. Well, I guess if you're in a safe... Oh gosh. Can we do something? Can we talk about something real quick with this movie? And first of all, I love it. Niall, I absolutely adore this movie. I wasn't able to watch it in theaters. It came out during the pandemic. I just didn't go see it. But I heard all the backlash about it. It's too confusing. You can't hear it, yada, yada, yada. So I guess I was primed to look out for several things when I went to go watch it. And when I watched this movie, I felt like... Now, I didn't understand all the theoretical instances and kind of the math and all that behind it, but I basically understood that it's about a group from the future whose Earth is dying, and they're like, screw it, let's kill our ancestors just to see what happens, because we're dying anyway. So then it's a group of people just sort of like, hey, that shouldn't happen. So then they bury things, and then it's people, and then that's it. It's just two groups attempting to, like, one group's trying to kill their ancestors to not destroy the world. The other group's trying to stop that. And it's quite, and it has an ending point. This isn't an Inception type film where you're going, is it, isn't it, is it? Like, there's still a couple theories. But watching this movie, I just kind of sat there and I listened to it, and I let the huge action set pieces sort of absorb into me. I kind of felt the movie, and that's what Nolan wanted. And maybe I was sort of prepared to not be as confused as everyone else. But watching this movie, I love it. I love the protagonist. I think it's about a bunch of very capable people on a mission. And it never once lost me. I was like, okay, it's just people from the future trying to... that's it. Like, you could hand wave and explain it in 20 seconds. So for me...
And the thing is, they do.
Yeah.
They do hand wave it. At one point they say, don't overthink it.
Yeah, they do.
And it's like perfect. That's almost like a direct wink to the camera, is saying like, look, this is how it's happening. Don't worry about how it works. Just get on with it.
Exactly. And that's the same thing that they did in Looper, but everyone thought it was genius. So when Bruce Willis goes, whatever, I don't want to explain time travel. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, Rian Johnson. But then Nolan does it, and he kind of just gets insulted. Like, people were talking about this movie. They're like, so somebody said that only dumb, smart people understand this movie. Now, I don't know, man. I remember when Wonder Woman 1984 came out, some people were watching it, and they're like, I don't even know what's going on right now, LOL. Like, they were watching it while tweeting, and I'm like, well, maybe because you're not paying attention, and you just think you shouldn't understand it. But Tenet, for me...
I didn't think there was a lot to understand in that movie.
Yeah.
It was very, very simple.
I think public opinion goes a certain way. And I don't want to call people sheep. I don't want to do any of that. But I just think, for me, I just sat there and I watched this movie and I was on board with it. It's just, like different timelines. Neil gets shot, but then they have further adventures because like he recruits them and it's all over the place. And they go back to Vietnam at the time. You get, the inversion. You don't want to get shot with an inverted bullet because all that kind of stuff goes on. They explain so much in this movie, but it's still, I don't know. It's just Nolan's take on a Bond film, basically, and that's what he said. But
well, yeah, he was looking, he couldn't resist throwing in an interesting conceit into it, with the time traveling thing. But ultimately, it's got boats in exotic destinations. It's got scantily clad women in bikinis. It's got kick-ass action. It's got over-the-top car chases.
Great suits.
It's got British men in suits.
Yeah.
It is ticking all of the boxes for Bond.
I love that you said ticking too, because between Interstellar and Dunkirk and Memento and Insomnia with not sleeping and losing time, you have just like a ticking clock going on in this movie. And then you have 10 and 10, which makes me so happy.
Oh, I think that's quite cool how like the pincer movement is 10 minutes forward and 10 minutes backwards. So you get like the palindrome kind of thing.
But like, this is a movie I love because of the scale of it. This is a $200 million budgeted movie. Nathan Crowley, the production designer who has worked with Nolan for many films now. I mean, Nathan Crowley has done First Man, Tenet, Dunkirk, Interstellar, The Dark Knight, The Prestige. He's been nominated for 6 Oscars. He's unbelievable. But that final battle scene at the end, just the scope of it, the wide open action, the score by Ludwig Göransson, like the cinematography by Hoyt van Hoytema, who, man, he shot Let the Right One In. And then look at, then he's moved on to The Fighter, Spectre, Interstellar, Dunkirk, Ad Astra. Like, what a blow up in a career for this guy. But I've just enjoyed the scope, the music, the visual effects supervisor, Andrew Jackson, did Mad Max Fury Road. I mean, you have some of the best in the business making a $200 million movie. And it's
with only 250 VFX shots.
Only quote unquote, which is still pretty gnarly, man. Because you think about some movies, they're like, yeah, we had 1,500 VFX shots, and you're like, whoa.
Well, we talked about which movie did we talk about most recently? Yeah, where they said they did thousands of VFX shots, and for this more modern movie where typically the crutch that is used is, you go to CGI for all this over-the-top stuff. Meanwhile, Christopher Nolan just buys a 747 and crashes it into a building and explodes it. And it's just like, yeah, that's why it looks so good. They just blew it up.
And they, you know what I love too is all the sort of explaining that they go through too. That they're kind of talking about how they're like, I don't want anybody dying during this. So then they blow the gold out the back. They drop the pilots. What's his name? Himesh Patel. They dropped the pilots out of the slide, so they don't want collateral damage. Like, it's such a cool scene. And then he's like, "This is pretty gnarly." He's like, "Well, as long as you said it wasn't crazy." Like, it's just. And I want to say during that scene where it's Neil, Mahir, and the protagonist, when the camera's doing the circular motion around them, that's the least annoyed I've ever been by the 360 shot going around the characters when they're doing a conversation. I think that's probably my favorite, where they're just going all like the roaming camera going around them, because it looks great. And I just love those three, man. I would watch these three in any movie. Like these characters.
Well, can we have a sequel? Or prequel even?
Yeah, please. Why not, right?
If the protagonist has to go back and that's the thing. It's left it's a solid ending, but it's kind of left open that the protagonist can still has to travel back through the journey so that he can first meet Neil before he's met him in this movie, and they apparently did some stuff.
That's like, I love those movies. Like remember back in Budapest, like they had some amazing things. But I would watch them together because I think the cast in this movie, I guess the protagonist caught some crap. Like John David Washington caught some crap for being a one-note character. And sorry, excuse me if I'm wrong here, but when you watch a James Bond movie, right? He just shows up, drinks martinis, he's suave, I'll shoot your see. Well, I was like a gangster this, but like there's no like, like they were like, he's not Bond. But I mean, Bond has a more relaxed vibe. Bond is more cheeky.
It depends on the Bond. If you look at Craig's Bond, he suffered and went through trauma and had character growth. If you look at all of the other Bonds, it was, basically, I drink martinis, I sleep with beautiful women, and I shoot bad guys. And at the end of the movie, I will be sleeping with another beautiful woman who's tagged along for my adventure. And that's the plot.
And just, I was going to think of a really bad pun, but I didn't have one, or like one of his final lines. What's the one where on the life raft at the end and he cuts the boat and then he says something about, I can't even think about it. But you know what though? Like the protagonist doesn't have time for that, is why I like him. He's just, he got his mouth burnt from a fake cyanide capsule. They repair his mouth, and then they're like, hey, you got to go learn about this bullet. And then, hey, you got to get this Goya in a handbag, and then you got to bring it to this art dealer who's trapped with this billionaire because she sold him a fake. And then you have to somehow get into the good graces of this billionaire Russian, and you're going to give him a piece of the algorithm, but then you got to go get it back, but then you got to run a temporal pincer. Like, there's no time for martini, and he doesn't drink on the job. Whoa.
That's true. And he prefers Diet Coke, much as he might protest.
I love that scene, though, right? He just doesn't drink on the job. It's kind of I feel like it's sort of a homage to Bond. This protagonist does not have time for that. Like,
there's no time for shenanigans.
No.
It's just all business.
Oh, man, and I love him in this role. He's just so capable. He's just a capable dude running a capable mission he's doing bungee jumpable buildings and
wow. Whose crazy idea was it that it's like, there's a tall building. I think the only way for us to get up there is to throw ourselves off a nearby building with what looks like a slingshot. They've gone to the Wile E. Coyote school of building entry. Yeah. It's just like, let's just slingshot ourselves at this and then bungee jump off it. Like, it's absolutely absurd, but it works. And they probably did it for real.
Yeah, you know what? You go back through the videos. Oh, so hey, I just want to read you something real quick. So I watched all the behind-the-scenes videos, and I just want to tell you what the cast and crew had. Well, I pulled some quotes from all the behind-the-scenes videos. So, and these are some of the quotes. Incredibly demanding. Unquestionably a challenging thing. So many days of stop, let's talk about this. It was kind of stressful. Prep was really complicated. It's been a real problem. I'll enjoy it more when I see the movie. Damn 747. This is going to be so daunting. It looks real because it's real. And then this is going to be hard. And then this was the hardest thing I've ever done. And then another guy, it's the most complicated movie I've ever worked on. Dude, it's all that people were saying about it.
About right. Well, if you look, as I said, there were only 250 odd VFX shots in the movie. If you compare that, if you look. At all of the stunts that were in the movie. Like, there are a ridiculous amounts of cars flipping over and cars crashing into each other, and there's that whole freeway chase sequence where they've got the fire truck and the other truck doing a pincer on the algorithm, as it was.
It wasn't plutonium.
No, it's something worse.
I do love that line when he goes, I need four large vehicles, but none of them the same. I need guns.
Yeah.
that
and one of them has to be a fire truck.
Yeah. And then, in some movies, it would just be like, okay, that's the entire movie. So, Niall, you and I are in a movie, and the protagonist comes to us. Hey, guys, I need 4 heavy vehicles. I need a fast car that doesn't look fast, and I need a gun that can do some heavy damage. That would be an entire movie for you and I, acquiring those 4 things. But they just skip ahead, and they get them. Like, this movie, like, I love it, too. And this movie's silly, because they don't explain that. Okay, you got it. Hey, it's bungee jumpable. Okay, we can do it. I'm gonna go back in time. I'm gonna get this oxygen mask, and then I'm gonna blow up, and I'm gonna get frozen. I'm gonna get hypothermia. Like, it's a silly movie, right?
I loved that. I thought that was a very clever little plot device because, if you think about entropy and how the world works, like I think they mentioned a line about entropy running in reverse, and having fire freeze an inverted car or an inverted person actually makes perfect sense, which is it adds some believability to it. Because I know Nolan consulted with Kip Thorne again on some of the science. Like, obviously it's fantastical. He still kind of ran it by so that it's in the realm of plausibility, at least within certain guidelines.
Do you think that since Christopher Nolan movies play quite seriously, that sometimes people don't embrace the silliness of them, if that makes sense?
Possibly. I feel like they're missing out somewhat. Like there is a lot of silliness in the movies that kind of just gets brushed away. It's like, oh no, it's totally deep and very meaningful, and we're doing this whole thing. Like, look at Inception, like folding up the city and like walking up walls and stuff like that. Yes, it was visually interesting, but at the same time, it's like, that's just kind of silly. He just wanted someone to walk up a wall for.
And all the slow motion and like father issues, and then in The Dark Knight, just they go into a tunnel, they come out, and it's night after being day. I think there's a lot of silliness to it. Like Dark Knight, Batman gets punched in the back and he's back in Gotham. Like I think though his plot holes are quite glaring though, because everyone takes his movie so seriously because of the quality that he's used to. So then when he makes a movie like this, people are like, I couldn't hear a single word that any of the characters said. I'm like, I kind of want to say, you didn't hear a single word in this movie.
See, that is ridiculous. Like, I did actually see this in theaters. I saw it in IMAX when it came out, and it was spectacular. And I didn't get that at all. I was like, oh yeah, look, it was a really cool movie. It was one of those. I think my reaction to it when I came out of the theater is, yeah, I definitely need to watch that again.
Yeah.
Which I think is usually a positive sign for a movie. It's not like, oh, that was good or that was bad. It's like, there's definitely something in it.
Yeah. No, and I mean, there's so much to embrace when you watch it again. And you know what's kind of nice about the theatrical experience of Tenet is you can't pause it and go back, right? You just gotta sit there and just absorb it. I think that's like the best way to watch it. Nolan said that he wants people to feel this movie. This is a random question, but did you feel it in IMAX?
I don't know if I felt it, but yeah, there is definitely some kind of subwoofer undertones within the sound, and when you're watching it in a big theater, you get this huge kind of feeling going through you. But I loved it, and the funny thing about this movie is when I rewatched it at home, my wife watched it with me, and she's often not that into movies that I like for whatever reason, and she sat and she kept making comments like, oh, this is weird, like, why am I watching this movie? But she watched it all the way to the end. So even though she was kind of a little bit not sure about it and wasn't sure if she wanted to finish it, she still watched it all the way through. Like, she couldn't not watch it. So I found that quite interesting.
Yeah, and do you think it's such a propulsive movie? It doesn't really stop much. So even if you're kind of wondering, like, what the heck is going on? There's a kitchen fight around the corner. There's a good bit of dialogue. There's a backwards car chase. There's huge gunfights. There's Aaron Taylor Johnson running around being super cool. I remember watching that movie and going, is that Aaron Taylor Johnson in this?
Where was he in that?
Was
Ellis. He the... Oh, he was... Really? It did not look like him.
Right? That's what I said. I was kind of going, is that him? Is that is that? I was like, wow, that's Ives. I'm sorry, Ives, not Ellis. Yeah, I was like, that's Ives. Like that's Aaron Taylor Johnson. Like, that's pretty cool. And it just bulked up like that. And what Fiona Dorff is in it. You know, Brad Dorff's daughter. She's in all the Chucky movies.
Then you had what's her name, Chloe Sevigny as the like scientist at the start, I thought.
Oh, that was what was her name? She's no, Clemence Posey.
Oh, Clemence Posey.
Yeah.
There you go. The one who was in Harry Potter.
Yeah, the fourth one, right? And then
Yeah.
all the other ones, yeah. Yeah, she's cool. Like some people have the theory that she's the one who made the algorithm.
No, I think that's bolting stuff onto just characters for the sake of it.
Yeah.
You know, it's death by analysis. You know, people are just trying to analyze every little thing. Sometimes a scientist is just a scientist.
I will say though, what she said about clipboards is 100% true. Because when I worked on film sets and Comic Cons, I knew I would kind of walk around with the clipboard sometime, and then if I had nothing to do, I would just sit there and read it. And then people were kind of like, "Oh, that guy must be busy. Like he must be doing something." Like on film sets, when you're looking at your call sheet on like a clipboard or a fold out from your pocket, they're like, "Oh, that guy's working right there because he's looking at something." So yeah, you could totally sneak into a place with a clipboard because people.
Well, it's like 30 Rock. Like Matt Damon plays a pilot in one of the seasons of 30 Rock, and he just says it's like, yeah, you just walk quickly in a pilot's uniform, and you can pretty much just get in anywhere.
You know, if he had a clipboard, he'd be in the NSA. You know, like he'd be in he would be in a space shuttle. That's how he got into Interstellar. Because he
just had a clipboard. It was just like sitting down, and it's like, oh, what's going on here?
3, 2, 1. Who are you? Oh man, but yeah, it's Clemence Posey. I loved having her pop up, and just the propulsive nature of this movie. I dug. It just keeps moving forward, but it also tries to explain things to you as well, which I kind of dig. And I also thought Elizabeth Debicki is really good in this movie. I liked her a lot in The Night Manager, and I dug her a lot in this.
That's an awesome show.
Yeah.
But yeah, she is very believable in this as the kind of trapped woman. You know, she does a really good job of kind of showing how afraid she is and just what she has to lose. And it's interesting how they shot her because she's like really tall. She's like 6'3" or something. So instead of trying to minimize that, they just lent into it. It's like, right, fine, we'll put her in all these pencil skirts and like these pantsuit kind of things, and just let's make her look longer.
Yeah.
And let's just kind of do it.
You know, let's not hide it, right? Let's not have her leaning like in Top Gun with Kelly McGillis leaning. Like she's taller than John David Washington, and it was cool. Like I love that he embraced that. And you know, Nolan wasn't even sure about casting her. I think he was worried about it, which is kind of rude, kind of presumptuous. But then she proved herself to him, and I think she's excellent in this movie because like she's no one's really damsel in distress. I mean, she straight up wants to kill Sater when she takes those things off his yacht. Like she's planning on.
And then straight up throws him out of the sailboat going like 60 kilometers an hour, just like yoink.
Yeah. So like she's a beast in this movie. She's just in a horrible situation because she had a son with this guy, and now she's stuck, which I mean makes sense. But I think she's really strong in this film, and just watching, I remember walking out of it. My first thought was just thinking, maybe I like movies where they're just people who are extremely capable being capable. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah, I think and that's not often the genre we get. What we get are incapable people suddenly being hyper capable, or we get hyper capable people being incapable for some reason, so that our incapable people can step in and take over. Though that said, I do quite enjoy The Other Guys, which kind of subverts that trope, which is quite funny.
Yeah, you have the hyper capable guys dying. I mean, that's one of my favorite moments because Sam Jackson and Dwayne Johnson legitimately believe that they can make that jump. In their heads, they're like, we'll be fine. And I love that they push that so far.
We're the protagonists.
Yeah. And do you think, like, I know this isn't a die-hard comparison, but what I love about John McClane is he's out of his depth, but he's very capable. It's just...
Yeah, he knows what he's doing, and he just kind of goes about what he thinks is the best course of action. which happens to be taking out a building full of terrorists.
Beautiful. And just watching him, like, I don't know. So I guess for me, just this, you don't get that much. Like, even in Thor: Love and Thunder, he's like, I'm kind of like messing up and blowing stuff up. And it's just always adding those jokes in between. And just, I don't know, like, a lot of these superhero movies, this movie, what are some other ones? I know this is a really random tangent, but I just love, like, hey, it's bungee jumpable. All right, let's go do it. Oh, I got to drive backwards. I got it.
Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, yeah.
They're all just very, very capable going about
Aliens?
Their job and their duty. Aliens?
No.
I don't know.
No.
I would say the lieutenant is definitely not capable, and a couple of the Marines aren't exactly the most capable sort either.
Predator?
They were a pretty shit hot squad.
Yeah, Ocean's 11.
It's unfortunate they were outclassed, but Ocean's 11.
I know.
Example, any of those teams.
Yeah, there's something relaxing about it, is there not? Where I know that it's what am I trying to say? There's just something comforting about watching super hyper competent people do these missions. It's refreshing and it's sort of. There's not a lot of blunders. There's not a lot of it. It's just moving forward.
Or Apollo 13 is another good example. Like, it's just like, okay, here are some super competent people. Something's gone catastrophically wrong, and they're just working to fix it.
Whoa, you're on fire today. I love all these examples. But that's why I love all those movies you mentioned, though. I mean, Saving Private Ryan, they're good at what they do. So they go do it. Apollo 13, they're good at what they do. They go do it. So it's just a fun way to watch a movie, and also it has a kitchen fight. Can we talk about the kitchen fight real quick?
Man, that is brutal.
The cheese grater?
That is so brutal. Even though I was ready for it when I was rewatching it today, it still had the visceral reaction for me. I'm like, oof, oh my god.
I don't think I've ever seen somebody hit with a cheese grater.
And then grated.
Oh man! And he's slamming heads through windows, and he's just punching. You know what's interesting about this movie is I feel like it's still a movie, but the punches have weight in this film. You know when he gets hit by Volkov when he's spying on the gold scene? He's like, I was curious.
Yeah.
He's like, you're not gonna put my balls down my throat, so I choked to death trying to pull my balls out of my mouth. But like when he gets hit, he's bloody. In this kitchen fight, it's not 47 blows. Like I feel like the punches have some weight in this as well.
Yeah, it's not like one of those things where you see it so often in movies. It's like the protagonist and the antagonist will trade blows and punch each other 50 times each in the head before one of them goes down. No blocking, nobody's ever heard of a guard, nobody's ever heard of ducking even. It's just let's just punch each other in the face really hard and we'll take it because we're strong. Ask Mike Tyson what happens when you get punched in the face. It's
Yeah. I love how fast and efficient these are, and I think my favorite line in the movie is like, I ordered my hot sauce an hour ago. That was an improv on set, and he made Nolan laugh, which makes me happy after doing the research on this. But yeah, just seeing that kitchen fight and how brutally efficient it is, and watching the cheese grater, and that's what I love about Nolan. In Memento, you have the chase scene, but he's like, who am I chasing him or is he chasing me? Like that's a really wonderful take on a chase scene. And then Prestige, you just sort of have, I mean, it's just really clever.
Well, you have a twist hidden in plain sight, essentially,
for
the entire movie, and they've even spelled it out to you multiple times, and it's still, at least for me, it still hit the first time. I was like, wow, I did not see that, even though it was right in front of me.
Yeah, and that's what I love about him. And he's like, I'm gonna do this chase scene. I'm gonna do another hallway fight, but backwards. I'm gonna do a hallway fight in Inception, but it's in a Nightmare on Elm Street spinning room. We are going to do, like I just love how he isn't afraid to sort of add a twist on existing action scenes where he wants you to come in and see something interesting. Like the cheese grater in the kitchen fight, the hallway, the fight with the protagonist, that's backwards. It's protagonist versus protagonist. Just watching
the car chase that's going both backwards and forwards at the same time. You've actually got two car chases running in opposite temporal directions in the same space, which
yeah, it's different. He gives us different things, and that's what makes me really happy about this. And okay. I guess let's get real. I think I'm a little too defensive over this movie because I think it's a big blockbuster that's different and exciting and almost handmade, even though it's $200 million. It's different, it's handmade, it's wonderful. But then there's a lot of people who don't like this movie, and they're like, I don't understand it. I don't like the concept. I don't like this. I don't understand this. The mix was bad. So do you think that Nolan might have missed making this movie? Do you think the whole idea of it was like too much? Like, I want to make a Bond movie with a Bond villain, but it's going to be insane. Like, it's going to be, and even Bond movies, he has very helpable helpers around the world, like people who help him out. So it's like he made a Bond movie with all this timey-wimey stuff, loaded it with like big score, big ideas. Is that the right execution for a movie like this?
Well, I think if you just take out the timey-wimey aspect for a minute and, even just look at one through points, like the heist for the, like taking this, the part of the algorithm, like that whole sequence is fantastic. You've got like this like really well-oiled machine. They come in, they like do a pincer movement on this armored convoy. They get in, they get the item, they get out, they're escaping, and then the bad guy comes in. Obviously he was inverted, but we don't know that at the time. We're just like, I remember seeing it in the theaters and being like, why has he got an oxygen mask on? Is he ill or something? Because we hadn't got that piece of information yet. And then, he's holding a gun to his wife's head, and you're like, oh crap, I guess he's going to win. And then there are a couple of confusing elements, like it's like, why are they driving backwards? That's a bit weird, but that's it. And it's just a fantastic action sequence. And if you take, the other set pieces from the movie, like the opera house at the start, I saw that. I can't remember which movie it was, but they showed that as a preview before whatever movie it was. Like I was at the IMAX to see something else, and they ran that before the main feature. So it was like a 6-minute sequence, which was basically that opera sequence. And I was like, what is this? This is amazing.
Yeah. Why is Niall there? But and I feel the same way. I guess just so many people weren't into it. And if you think about Nolan, this movie, you know how many aspect ratios there are? There's like 1.43 to 1, which is IMAX 70 millimeter, 1.78 to 1, some scenes in IMAX. Then you have 1.90, 2.20 to 1. Then you have 2.39 to 1 on 35 millimeter. So you have different aspect ratios. You have sound mixing that in a theater needs to be carefully calibrated, because if it's not, it could be off. I feel like he asked a lot of. Not asked a lot. I didn't feel this movie too involved, but I also watch movies for a living. So I guess some people are used to kind of having things spoon-fed, but in this one you really do gotta think. Even though they tell you everything, they show you the red and blue lights. Like Kat is in a red dress during this scene. Like people are wearing armbands. And
Sator's wearing a blue suit.
Right? And there's armbands that like delineate all of this, but it just requires you to pay attention, which if you're not paying attention to this movie, if you're looking at your phone, or if you're like listening to other things, or you're walking around the house, you're going to miss a lot. So it's like he made a movie for a theatrical experience to be immersed in, but this is not like a tourist movie. This is you can't just be like a backseat passenger watching this, if that makes sense.
No, you have to be an active participant.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll miss, important plot points, and then you'll go on Twitter probably during the movie because you're not paying attention to it saying, I can understand this movie, it's weird.
Yeah. And then while you were tweeting, you missed the whole speech about the people from the future wanting to do the grandfather paradox, and like, will it work? Well, they think it'll work. That's all that matters. And then you're like, what's going on here? And listen, I know that some people, if you're listening, didn't enjoy it, so I'm not trying to come at you for that. I think there are gripes with this movie that people have who did pay attention to this movie. I just felt after a lot of research, so I had to do I was working on a research project for this for a company, and I just read so many reviews and so many audience reviews where it's like I didn't understand it. Like there's so many of those, and I'm like, I think you could have. I do think you can, but yeah, I know I'm harping on this. It's just I don't know. I felt like this movie was just on my wavelength. I just loved how insane it was, and I really enjoyed that. So, I mean, there's just so much to like too. I mean, yeah, like you said, the opening opera sequence that was shot in IMAX. Watching that scene with the awesome slide by the protagonist, that was amazing. John David Washington's a good movie runner, by the way.
He apparently tried out for the NFL as like a running back. Apparently he was, quite good in high school, and he got as far as almost getting to an NFL tryout.
Oh wow. Oh, no wonder he's
so apparently he was very good at running.
Yeah. What? I mean, watching him run.
He said afterwards he's never been so tired as after filming this movie.
Well, think about being on set of this film. You are constantly it's quick dialogue. You're moving fast. You are talking about temporal pincers. You're running around. It's a very
getting
heightened
slingshot up a building.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very heightened. Everything about this movie is like even about the protagonist, like even his dialogue scenes, he's very proper. He's very up. He's always doing pull-ups too on ladders and boats. Just get him a bar. Get this guy a pull-up bar.
Why did he have to go like halfway up this wind turbine to do his pull-ups?
Yeah.
If it was me, I would have gone up to just a tiny bit off the ground, done my pull-ups there. But he climbed halfway up this ladder, and then it's like, oh, this looks like a great spot for pull-ups. Yeah. Right, I'm doing it.
Does it? So for me, this is what I'm thinking. It adds a danger to it. It adds, I don't know, an unnecessary danger. So maybe it's like I'm hanging 40 feet and doing pull-ups, so I'm ice cold.
Yeah, and just after he's been tortured and had his mouth re-repaired and stuff, he's like, yeah, it's totally a good idea for me to do pull-ups 60 feet in the air.
Yeah. There's some Get Smart stuff in there where Anne Hathaway, she got like a completely new face. Like he gets like a new mouth from this. But I'm going to say it again. No, okay. I'm telling you though, I'm going to say it again. This movie spells out so much. Like, oh, Tenet, it opens good doors, it opens bad doors. Everyone knows it. It's just an interesting concept where people know it, but it might be trouble for you. And then there's people working for you, then they're working against you. You don't really know who is, like Priya, right? You don't know what she is.
Well, Priya, ultimately, he's the one who's giving the orders.
Yeah.
And he's giving the orders after he's already taken care of her. So he knows her entire loop or her entire life.
Yeah, because he's been there.
So he is just putting the wheels in motion to make sure that his journey goes the way it should. So he's like, right, we need to push him towards Priya so that this happens. We know she's going to betray, but that's fine because we dealt with that.
Oh, I love it. No, that's I've watched this movie 4 times now, and you just sort of you know what I like about it is you could watch it you could pay attention to it and get it on a surface level, but then you could really go in depth with the timelines and figure out where and what and when is this pincer, when is that, when are they doing this, when they do that. It's kind of cool. You can absorb it on the surface level, and then you can also go back and watch it a lot. I love that about it.
I like to think that Niall actually went off and like did his own thing for like 20 years and then pincered back to like sort out this lock.
Oh yeah, because that lock, I love this lock. Yeah, and he gets up and then he gets shot. So Neil, like he's like, can we change something? Nah, I'm good. Like he's a company man, Neil, for sure.
Yeah, so he knows he dies in there.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he doesn't have to come to there from where he is at the end of the movie. He could always continue going forward for 6 months, for example, and then reverse himself to go back and still go back to the same point and still be there.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of comes back to what I've said. It's like, okay, we can we all have to kill ourselves because we know this, but it's up to you when, you know.
Yeah. Our job is
So
to
he
fail.
could just kind of go, he could just kind of go and, live his life for a little bit and then be like, okay, I've really got something to do. 6 months in the past. I'm out.
Yeah, kick it in Vietnam on the beach for 6 months and then just go back in time to go figure that out.
Yeah, there are some interesting things you could do though. Like you can do like some real life Groundhog Day kind of thing. It's like, right, I'm gonna go and relive the same day again, except there will be 2 of him in the timeline at that point now. So you could basically have a multiplicity kind of thing where you could have 10 of yourself spread around the world doing different things.
Oh, man,
It'd be the perfect crime.
It's a Stephen King novel.
Well, it's the perfect alibi, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could basically arrange so that you're actually talking to the guy who's going to be investigating your crime at the time the crime is committed. And then they'll be like, we've got this guy on video doing this crime. And it's like, that's impossible. I was sat talking to him in my office at the time the crime was committed.
You could drive people mad.
Yeah. There's a lot of scope for abuse.
Yeah. I just hope you can't send past you to the present and then back to the past, or then you'll get that one Michael Keaton clone. That could be trouble.
Yeah, you don't want that.
But Nolan said that when he made this, that he wanted to take moviegoers' expectations of the spy genre and shatter them. It's a film of great ambition and great skill that takes a genre, namely a spy film, and tries to take it into some new territory, and tries to take audiences on a ride they might not have had before and might not be expecting. I didn't expect
It's definitely unexpected.
Yeah.
It is definitely unexpected.
Do you think audiences deal well with the unexpected?
No.
No. And
that's why sequels do so well. That's why Transformers keeps grossing $1 billion. I mean, that's why, the latest Jurassic Park, I haven't seen it, but I've heard it's basically ticking boxes and being like, okay, Jeff Goldblum, dinosaurs.
It's fun.
There's problems.
There's a swimming chicken dinosaur, and there is a motorcycle chase in Malta. That's insane. The movie knows it's crazy. That's why I like it, the new Jurassic World. It's ticking all the boxes, but there's a Freddy Krueger dinosaur. It's it knows it's the 6th film in a franchise that has gotten progressively silly. And it just sort of basks in that, which is kind of nice. So I kind of dig it. But yeah, no, it's Jurassic Park. It's all of them blended into one doing that. But I guess you're right, but that's the problem. I have a question now. Like, you're making a $200 million movie that is going to like, Nolan's the only. Who else could do this? Make a $200 million movie that's going to shatter audiences' expectations. Who has the power? I don't think Spielberg has that power anymore.
Not anymore.
No,
I think he's lost what he had.
Fincher's not in that world anymore. The Russos, no one will get. No, unless it's a Marvel movie. Like, there's nobody on this planet.
Denis Villeneuve.
Oh yeah, all right, yeah, Denis Villeneuve. Taika, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, because he's getting a Star Wars movie.
That will be mad.
Yeah.
Taika Star Wars. I'm just sign me up for that. Yeah. I think that would be brilliant.
I'm there. But yeah, I mean, it's but I guess I don't know. I just think that sometimes I wonder if it was the best idea to make a $200 million movie that destroys expectations. But I also adore this movie. So I wish he didn't do anything different. But I know if he would have made it more Bondian, more straightforward, it probably would have made. I mean, during the pandemic, this movie made bank. It made $350 million, I believe.
Which, given that you couldn't even go to theaters for most of its run, I think that's quite a decent haul.
Yeah, it's huge. And but even people were like, it's a dud. I'm like, no. In 2020 terms, this movie was about as close to a blockbuster as you were gonna get. But what's crazy though is it has the lowest. All right, so right now Tenet has the lowest critical score, 70%. So Nolan's never made a quote unquote.
So it's still fresh.
Yeah. He's never made a rotten movie, but it's the lowest at 70, and it has the lowest audience score at 76. So it's not like sometimes when audiences hate movies like Mother, directed by Darren Aronofsky, those types of films like that, or maybe like a Hereditary or Midsummer, they get a 27 audience score, right? Audiences just go, I don't know what this is. I hate it. F cinema score. So people clearly went online and rated this movie well. I mean, 76 is not a terrible audience score. And then also on IMDb, The score is, hey, computer, move faster. 7.3. That's good for IMDb.
Which, is, again, very, very decent.
Yeah.
And I think that is where a lot of the problems you see online come from. People have such high expectations when it comes to a Christopher Nolan film.
Yeah.
They're thinking it's going to be another Dark Knight, it's going to be another Inception.
Mm-hmm.
And the bar is very, very, very high when it comes to him. But this movie, it was fun.
Yeah.
It was full of, the action sequences are awesome. Doesn't take itself too seriously. It even tells you not to worry about the mechanics of time travel. I liked it. And, as you've seen, seems like, a 76% audience score. People generally did like it. But there's the vocal minority who didn't, who are louder.
Yeah. So it is a very vocal minority. So I'm kind of harping on it when largely people liked it. But like so many different, I'm telling you, man, I found so many big articles about this. Like, but I also think that's unfair because I think expectations can really wreck certain things. Like I've talked about this in the past. We talked about this on our Lost World episode where Jurassic Park comes out. That's one of the greatest movies ever made, right? Crowd pleasing, VFX, everything. And then people watch Lost World and they're like, well, it's not as good as Jurassic Park. But
well, that's
right. So
what is?
So then you're like, that's not as good as Dark Knight. I mean, Dark Knight was we were in Korea when that came out, and that was a absolute trend-setting, global, transcendent blockbuster.
Yeah, I think I saw it like 3 times in the theaters. It was just spectacular.
Gigantic movie. Then you had, all the rest of those movies made a ton of money. I mean, Inception was a blockbuster movie. Interstellar made almost $800 million. So I guess it's kind of like, I kind of look at like, this is a weird thing. I don't know how you look at it, but like I look at it in baseball terms. Like if you're great at baseball, you hit a 400. So if you're hitting 400 in baseball, you're going to stay on that team. You might even get the All-Star game. So with directors, and this movie's a double. Like this is I wouldn't say it's a home run. Maybe I would. No, it's a double. But like that's still good. It's not a home run, but people are complaining about a double, if that makes sense, which is still good. Like, but you're not going to hit those heights of Dark Knight. You're not going to hit the heights of Memento because that came out of nowhere. So I don't know. It's so odd that people are like, it's not as good as this, or it's not like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar scores 100 points in a game, and then he scores 50. People aren't going to be like, that game sucked, if that makes sense. Because scoring 100 points in a game, you never do. There's only a handful of players. I say this a lot on the show. I'm sorry, y'all. But I don't know. I just wish people would have enjoyed this more.
I think people would have if they'd been able to experience it in the theaters more rather than seeing it, in a smaller context. I think if it had got a full theatrical run, I think people would have, potentially even gone back to see it more than once in the theater and appreciated it. I think it was a little bit hamstrung by the pandemic.
Oh yeah, big time. I mean, I didn't want to go out at all. I didn't want to go to the theater. I guess I didn't do it.
I was delighted because it was basically the first time the theater had been open for a year, and it was like opening this week. Tenet. I'm like, right, I'm in. Done.
Man, that would have been cool to watch. But I bought it as soon as it came out. And I was still, but we made a night of it. We turned off the lights, got ready, and just like sat in it, and that was kind of perfect. And I have a quick question for you. Let's do something fun. Let's try to put together like a capable person squad, and the capable person squad of cinema. So we are we're putting on a mission, right? And we need capable people for our mission. And so we need to bring in 6 people. You pick 3, I pick 3. Men, women. Right. So I'll let who do you think should be first pick?
Yeah, you got to go for the OG of sci-fi, Miss Ellen Ripley.
Oh.
She is super capable.
Just a little bit, right? Oh man, that's a great pick. This is gonna be really weird, but I'm gonna take Cam from Ambulance, played by Isa Gonzalez, because she's
Oh, interesting.
Have you seen that movie?
No.
Oh, bad. We watched it again, and I've watched it a few times, and I think the third time I watched it, we were blasting through it, and I was like, all right, we got to pause it real quick, and we were 45 minutes in already. Like, I was like, wait, where did that go? Where did these minutes go? But she's on the ambulance and just like super, what's the word? Just gets the job done. Uses a hair clip to block like an artery that's spewing blood. There's a lot of body horror in it. But I'm going to go with an offbeat choice. I'm going to take Cam from Ambulance.
Interesting. I'm just trying to think of some kind of offbeat. One that I'm kind of thinking of doing, something we've brought up quite a lot in the past is Tommy Lee Jones' character in Volcano. Mike Rourke.
Yeah.
He seems to be the only one who's actually competent in the face of a volcano in downtown LA.
Oh, that's it. We need Norbert here to do that. Listen to our Armageddon episode.
Do the voice.
Yeah, do the voice. I think I got one. I think I have a good one for you that I think you might like. I'm not sure if you've seen this movie. I hope you've seen this movie, but when I do say this name, I think you're gonna like it. I'm gonna take Ray from The Gentleman, played by Charlie Hunnam.
Oh, nice. Yeah. That's a good movie. I enjoyed that.
Very good movie. And that guy, if you have a right-hand man, that's who you want. Like, you want Ray. So right now we have Ellen Ripley, we have Cam from Ambulance, we have Tommy Lee Jones, and we have Charlie Hunnam. All right. So then who else do we got?
I think you gotta look like what movies did we bring up? See, you can't really go for either of Saving Private Ryan or Apollo 13 because I don't think they count because they're based on like real-ish events.
Yeah.
Well, Saving Private Ryan not, but Apollo 13 certainly. It's dramatization. You could look at one of the Ocean's crew.
Who do we want from there?
But who would be the most useful? You could have Brad Pitt in the corner eating apples.
What about Don Cheadle? He does outfits.
He does. Or the amazing Yin, like the contortionist.
Actually, we don't have any of them. We don't have any super athletic people, do we?
Yeah, I don't think so.
We could stuff them in a box and send them somewhere. So is that who we're gonna go with?
Yeah, let's go with the amazing Yin.
Oh, that's awesome. That's fun. All right. So then we have one more left. So I have to. Okay, we have one more. So do you remember what movies did we talk about? Have we talked about? All right. So we need incredibly capable characters who just get stuff done. You don't have
Third generation driller, maybe.
Like you. Wait, what's that from? Third gen. Let's see. So we need
from Armageddon.
Oh my gosh. Bruce Will. Oh,
I'm a third generation driller.
We need us up there to take care of this thing. You know what? I'm gonna take what's her name from the movie? I got a good one. Have you seen Annihilation?
No.
Oh, with Natalie Portman? Oh well, that's no fun then. I was gonna say Lena from Annihilation, but you haven't seen it, so I gotta think of something else. I'll get there quick. Help me out here, man. I'm looking for I want to make this a 3-and-3 squad. You know what? Can I pick as a video game character good?
Yeah.
Can I take Vikander from Tomb Raider?
Yeah, sure.
She'll just get stuff done. Why not? What do you think?
Yeah.
I like her in that movie. All right. So we have Ellen Ripley, Cam, Tommy Lee Jones. I know he's Mike, but I'm just calling him Tom. Ray, Yin, and Laura Croft. Is that cheating? I don't care. I like it. Let's see. What about wait. You know what? I'm taking Melissa McCarthy from Spy.
Oh, nice.
There it is.
Yeah, she's good.
Yeah. So that's not a comic book character. She's really good at. All right. I like our squad. That's fun. That's a good one. So how about this? Let's take a quick break and then we'll get our final thoughts. How's that sound?
Yep. Sounds good.
Welcome back to Movies, Films, and Flicks. And we can't get out of here without discussing the suits in this movie where, the protagonist, the costume designer talked about how he has perfectly tailored suits, but then you have Pats with his scarves and kind of loose-fitting clothes, and just different types of dressed people throughout this movie. So what were your favorite suits or looks? I know you have a bunch of notes.
So there were quite a few that were, like the protagonist practically changed suit every scene. He was just, like a clothes horse. It was almost like a model. It's like, and here's the latest one from our collection, this purple number. So I think that was actually the coolest look that he wears to the the dinner with Sator, where he gets the lovely nice threat of having his throat cut and his balls shoved down his neck while wearing this lovely purple number. He's looking very sharp. Looks very good.
Hey, have you ever been to the opera?
I have not.
That saves his life. I love it. I haven't either. Yeah, that's a legit suit, and it's a good threat.
Yeah, it is. It does not sound like a pleasant way to die.
No, it sounds horrible. Yeah. All right, what's your next one?
The next one is the one that Niall was wearing when he went to case the Oslo storage place. He was wearing this like gray suit with like blue highlights through it, and it was just like, oh yeah, he looks sharp as hell.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at it right now. He's a heck of an actor, isn't he?
He is. Yeah, he has done well to kind of distance himself from the Harry Potter Twilight kind of thing, and has just gone and done some really interesting roles.
Yeah, Good Time. He's so good in High Life, The Rover.
Yeah.
Dude's a beast. What's your next suit?
Then I would say the navy suit that the protagonists wore when they were raiding the storage place in Oslo. He had a navy suit with pinstripes with like a little gray like flower in the lapel. It was pretty cool.
Oh heck yeah! I like the one when he first meets Arpats at the hotel when he's having a drink, kind of like a lavender. What color would you say that is? Grayish?
Yeah, grayish lilac.
Oh, there we go. I'd wear that. I don't know if I'd look as good, but I'm not as trim.
I'm not sure about some of the is a suit the best thing for some of the scenes that the protagonist has to go through. When he goes to the kitchen scene, he's wearing, I think it was a 3-piece suit. Mm. I'm like, is that the most conducive for fighting? Wearing 3-piece, like, would the waistcoat not constrain you somewhat?
That's a good point. I mean, you should probably just show up in a like, what is it, like a jogging uniform? What do you call it? A tracksuit.
That's why Bond always wears a tuxedo.
Yeah.
It's only 2 pieces.
Yeah, you don't need the 3. Yeah, never wear a scarf either during a fight. You might get it's a choking hazard.
Yeah, I think Niall needs to ditch the scarves before he goes and sees any real action.
He's all about them scarves. What's the last one? Which one do you like?
So the last one is Michael Caine. So he is just sitting there just looking like ridiculously rich and just doing an excellent job delivering like 5 lines of exposition, basically. And then one barb, just like, Brooks Brothers won't cut it. Oh. And that's done.
Man, he lit him up on that. And I love when he asked the host, can you box that up for me? Absolutely not.
Oh. Yeah, that looked like a very, very swanky private members club.
Yeah, I love that though. I'm his lunch, you mean sir? Yeah, whatever you mean, whatever you presume. He's sassy, the protagonist. He has no time.
Yeah.
He has no time. There's no chit-chat.
He just needs to go from one place to the other as quickly as possible.
Does he chit-chat with anybody?
No. I can't think of any small talk. Maybe there are a couple of moments with Niall at the end, I guess, after they'd kind of done everything, where he's like, oh, hey, is this the first time we've met? What happened? But that is kind of advancing the plot rather than just hanging out.
We don't know if he likes sports. We don't know what he likes to drink. We don't know what he likes. But I don't care. You don't need that. In in Predator, we don't know anything they love.
I'm assuming knives and big guns.
And grease.
And arm wrestling handshakes.
There's a camera around here. Our biceps got to look amazing. Oh, man. No, but listen, man, I'm just so happy that you suggested this movie because I loved going through it again. I have an insane amount of notes that we're not using, but I love just capable people being capable. And it's so pleasant.
It's a very good example of it. It's just capable people doing capable things and some great action.
Man, cars going like this. It's different. He made something different. Like, why? I gotta get over myself because this made money. critics and audiences like it. So I don't know what I'm complaining about. But he gave the world something really cool. And I'm really glad he did. And I think just the name Nolan carries so much weight. People are a little bit annoyed by it. But, like, I love Wes Anderson. But Wes Anderson, I feel like, has become more Wes Anderson over the years. I still feel like Nolan's out there. Nolan does have his time, his themes of time. He loves Bond. He loves the movie Heat, as you can see in Dark Knight. But he makes different...
Well, there was a lot of heat in Tenet as well. Like, in that, that's, again, the freeway chase heist. Like, you could have pulled that straight out of Heat.
Yeah. Heat is a constant, he always uses heat. Oh, gosh, but I still feel like he tries something different. He's not becoming so insular. Does that make sense? I still feel like he's out there trying... Like James Cameron, like Denis Villeneuve, he's making these giant movies that he just wants people to be entertained with, I think.
It's like, we've talked about, people like Bob Zemeckis and, Joe Dante, etc. They have stopped being able to innovate. They have kind of done their best work in the past, and then, their newer stuff isn't really innovating in the same way as their older stuff was, where they were absolutely pushing the boundaries.
Yeah.
And that's where, Cameron, Nolan are not sitting on their laurels. Like, they're still trying to push boundaries and do new things. Like, who knows what Avatar 2 is going to look like. The trailer was crazy.
Oh, gosh, I can't wait. So many sea monsters. Oh, my gosh. Hey, before we wrap up, like, where can people find you?
I'm at El Nilo on Twitter. Feel free to follow my rugby-related rants with occasional movie trivia thrown in.
Love it. I'll let you think about what movie is next, but we always have some good blockbusters to talk about. But I'm so happy you suggested this, man. Thank you.
Yeah, cheers. It was great.
Awesome. So for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, for Niall Moore, this is Movies for the Flicks. We'll see you next week.